Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Local Marketing Institute Q&A Live. We are back after a month hiatus. Sorry about that, but Greg and I were traveling like madmen last month. So we apologize for that, and thank you for coming back. So yes, myself and Fisher, steady demand. You can reach me on Twitter at The Social Dude. And as usual, my illustrious co-host, my awesome co-host, Greg Gifford from Search Lab Digital. And you can reach him on Twitter at Greg Gifford. So please feel free to join us on Facebook, Local Marketing Institute Connect. I think we're at like 2.5 thousand members or something like that.
We really do. I need to update this. I'm going to write a note to myself. Like that's an old photo.
I agree. But please come join us in the group. Everybody from, Trisha, hey, Trisha, to, Greg, myself, we got Tim, we've a lot of the Google PEs actually hang out there. So come on in, share your news, share your concepts, your ideas, any kind of questions that you have, and somebody would absolutely be there to help you. And then finally, if you like us on the go, download our podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Heck, we're everywhere. The only thing we're not doing is smoke signals. We're working on it, though.
It'd be really cool if we did that.
It would be kind of cool if we did that. All right. So with that, that's all wrapped up. Cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We love you. And it's time to just rock it and get into this. So like usual, we're going to have our format of, we're going to go over some news. Then we're going to get into some questions. We had a lot of questions from the last one we did. So we're going to get into a lot of those questions and some newer questions. And then we are going to attempt our new format of answering live any kind of troubleshooting questions that you have. So, and if that doesn't work, we got more questions to go through, so it's okay.
Let's start with the news.
Yes, one little thing of housekeeping. And that is that if you do have a question, please throw it into the question and answer area, and then we'll be able to get to you. All right. So with that, we need a sound effect for that. You know that, right, Greg?
News. Which sound effect?
Like we need like some old
like a news. Okay, I'm going to write that down too.
I don't know, like a news ticker or, like something from the 70s, maybe?
Yep.
Something like that. Okay. If anybody has ideas for a news sound, pop it in the chat. Okay. All right. So the first one is a bombshell. As you know, there have been problems with Google Business Profiles and making any kind of edits. As a matter of fact, breathing on a Google Business Profile could cause it to get suspended for the last 4 weeks. So basically, this is now resolved. Google has actually fixed it. So feel free, edit your Google Business Profile. Actually, the cool thing is that if you were affected by this bug, then your profiles have automatically been reinstated. If you have not been reinstated, then you're just a casualty of actually not the bug, but just you've been suspended. So that's the new. Yes, I know, Jeffrey, right? Oh my God. Yes. And yes, Trisha, finally. So it's fixed. It's good to go. Done. And you can really, by the way, you can really thank the PE group for this. Send them chocolates if you want, except for Joy. Probably not chocolates for Joy. So anyway, no, but send them, just give them some love because the PE group really fought for this. So just so you know. All right. Okay. So with that, that's out of the way. The next thing. Now we have a new problem. Of course, Google Business Profiles wouldn't be GBP without problems.
The P stands for problem, not profile.
Right. Exactly. Google Problems Everlasting?
No, GBP, Google Business Problems.
Google Business Problems. There we go. I love it. Google Business Problems. All right. So basically now we have a brand new terminology for another review issue. Yes, another review issue. Let's hope this one's not a feature like the other ones. Big. Yep, that's exactly, you got that right, Trisha. That's what happened today. Yep. Hopefully anyway. So as you know, we have issues, right? We have issues with new profiles not being able to get reviews for 3 to 6 months. We have issues with profiles that are just losing a massive number of reviews at once. And, then we have new reviews not showing up. So new review ghost, old review ghost, new review profile. I don't even have a name for that one yet. Gating. And the newest one is our daily review ghost. So the daily review ghost basically is kind of like the old review ghost. With the old review ghost, again, you would lose anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 reviews at a time, but that would be it, right? They just go away. Now, this one is all about losing reviews at a rapid pace daily. Start with 101 one day, wake up in the morning, you're at 97. Wake up the next day, 92. Next day, 85. Whatever the case may be, there's not a pattern to it, but merchants are basically losing reviews on a daily basis. So we just brought this up to Google this morning. And we are now raising the issue, the PE group, we're raising the issue with them. And what we need examples. So if you have examples of any reviews which are going missing on a regular basis, that's the keyword, okay, with a profile, please DM me DM me the review profiles. If you want, you can also go over here to a thread on the local search community, local search forum. Okay, there it is. And you can also post it there. And then basically, as soon as we find out, what's going on, we will definitely update you, but we need examples so we can get this fixed for everybody. So anyway, that's my call to action and news item. All right. Next one is... this one came from Colin. And so what he found is that a label, as you know, in Google Business Profiles, you can set a attribute to say that you have online availability. Well, Colin went out and saw that now it's actually a searchable item saying that you have online availability. What does that mean for the future? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Because, people have been asking about, well, how can I do this? Since COVID, I don't have an office, blah, blah, blah. So maybe there's something coming. Who knows? And then the final news item. Okay. And this actually, by the way, comes from Trisha. So thank you, Trisha. All right. And so Trisha told us that basically Google is updating a new feature it looks like it's a new feature where they're highlighting pictures and adding a keyword in the number of pictures. When you click on it, it takes you, not number of pictures, it's number of reviews that mention a keyword. So in this case, it looks like maybe users are uploading photos when they do a review. And then Google's saying, well, hey, there's 4 reviews that are about bathrooms, and this happens to be a bathroom picture. So something like that. And that's pretty cool. I would love to see that tested, by the way, Trisha, to see if you can replicate it and maybe even game it somehow. Just saying. If you want to do that, you could come on here and we could present it to the world. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for putting that out there, Trisha. And all right, cool. And
so that becomes question time, and you're up with the first question.
What? I didn't talk enough.
No. Everybody right now is saying, "Oh, Ben's done talking."
Right.
First question from Cordell, titled "Google refusing to reinstate a profile due to being an quote unquote online business." So question: Google denied reinstatement of one of my clients' profiles, saying the following: per our quality guidelines, your business isn't eligible to display on Google Maps, specifically due to online business. The business website on your business profile shows it is an online business, hence we cannot reinstate the business profile. The business is a service area florist that operates out of the owner's home. We've provided multiple pieces of documentation that show the business name and address at the same as what we set the profile up with. They do have an e-commerce website attached to the profile, but they are not an online business. Google doesn't seem to want to listen to, and I'm at a loss of how to get this taken care of at this point. This is the first time I've had a profile denied due to online business.
Yeah. So Cordell, I will say, if you're out there in the audience, let's see. Do we have a Cordell here? Yes, Cordell is here twice. Hey, Cordell. So, okay. So this is the way this works. It's pretty straightforward, by the way. When number one, you're lucky. They replied back and they actually told you what it's going on. And they said online business, because otherwise you'd be just sitting here scratching your head forever. So that's cool, by the way. So congratulations. Yay. Congrats. We definitely need a clap on that one. Anyway, so now that you know what's going on, here's what you got to fix. And I don't even need to look at your website to tell you this, by the way, but if you want to pop it into the chat, pop it into the chat. More than likely what they've done is they will on a reinstatement. One of the first things that they do beyond the Secretary of State is go look at your website. If it looks like an online marketplace where people can only buy things, yes, you are considered an online business in their eyes. So basically, remember, you're guilty till proven innocent as far as Google is concerned. So more than likely what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to rearrange your website, your homepage specifically, to show that you actually do service people locally, and put that up front, basically, or, up at the top. We are a local business. So we are a local business. We will come and deliver to you. By the way, if you want to order something online, here you go. So make it a secondary thing. And hey, Sheila. So that's what you have to do. Once you've done that, yes, I know it's a PITA, but once you've gone ahead and done that, then just reply to the ticket and and then there you go. They will go ahead and more than likely reinstate you if you have done things properly. That's it.
Boom.
All right, cool. So, and you're welcome, Cordell. Absolutely. And if you want to, during the tail end of our session here, if you want to pop your website in when we're doing live, troubleshooting, then feel free. And we'll take a look at the website and see if I can give you some more tips. All right. Greg, this one's for you. It's from Jackson Engel, actually. So Jackson asks, GBP verification in remote locations. Okay. All right. So I have a client who is located in a remote location in British Columbia where they cannot receive mail. They do not have access to any other mailing addresses besides a PO box, which kind of sucks, right? Would you suggest submitting a support ticket with Google to request video verification instead? Or what else would be the easiest and best solution? This is a scenario that we struggle with often.
So there's a new rule from Google that if you can't receive mail, you're not eligible. So you're screwed. Sorry. I'm just kidding. Really, yeah, this happens a lot where somebody's in a location where they can't receive mail. Also happens fairly often in new areas where it's an address that didn't previously exist and mail is slow or whatever. You're totally right. Just contact support and say, hey, look, I can't. You could go through the motions of requesting a postcard knowing that it would never be delivered. But the easiest thing to do is just go right to support and say, hey, look, this is a location that's really remote and doesn't receive mail. We need another verification option, and they'll hook you up that way. Super easy.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just put a tail end onto that. And that is and this kind of is for anything support related. If the agent comes back and is talking to you like a 5-year-old. So in other words, they come back and go, sorry, we understand what you're talking about, pretty much. Or gives you some kind of nonsense canned reply that has nothing to do with what you asked, which happens too. Come to the community, because we can get it escalated up and they can see if they can get video verification turned on.
Yep.
All right.
Which means you're up next with the next question.
All right.
This one is from Andrea. Let's see if we have an Andrea here today. We don't have an Andrea here today, but we'll do Andrea's question anyway, because maybe Andrea is watching the replay later.
This is very possible.
Shout out to Andrea for downloading the podcast and listening to it later. The question is, client GBP account suddenly disabled. How do we fix? Details. Hello, thanks for your help. One of my clients' GBP listings was recently disabled by Google and is now also not visible in search. No notice given. How do you best navigate this? Client listing is legit and meets Google's rules for having a GBP. What could this be due to? I've read a lot of Google forums, but I've not found a good answer. Also, this says disabled, not suspended. Is that different?
Sounds like I need to write another article. Okay. So number one, disabled status is resolved the same way a suspension status is resolved. Number two, yes, of course, you never get notice when you are suspended or disabled or otherwise removed from Google. Sorry. You get the notice after it occurs, technically 2 minutes after. Anyway, so basically disabled, what is the difference between a disabled listing and a suspended listing? A suspended listing is where Google does not trust either the profile or the account related to the profile. There's something wrong with the guidelines. Disabled is it's the same, but it's different sometimes. And it is kind of, it is a sometimes thing too, by the way, because what it is traditionally, the way it's explained is by Google is that a disabled status is a data issue, meaning that the way your data or way the listing is set up is incorrect for them. In my experience, I don't believe this because I have seen disabled profiles that were formatted perfectly, but yet they get disabled anyway. You go through the reinstatement process and they get reinstated. So anyway, that is a long way of saying is, yeah, you're disabled. Go ahead and submit a reinstatement form. That's basically all you have to do.
Boom.
All right, for you, my friend. Now we're getting into questions that actually were asked previously. So let's see. Do we have an Elizabeth with us? We do not. Okay. Well, hey, Elizabeth, if you ever hear this, Elizabeth's
here.
Hubler. Is she?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, there she is. Yes. Hi, Elizabeth. We are answering your question live. All right. So, Greg, how do you get the branded map pin in Google Maps? I believe it's through ads, but I'm not sure if something needs to be turned on or how to get it to work.
It is through Google Maps, and it costs $10,000 a day. No, I'm kidding. It is part of the local campaigns in Google Maps.
It was hold on. 10,000 a day. I heard it was $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million a day. Actually, you're right. Sorry, I have my zeros in the wrong place.
Jeez,
no, so it's part of the local campaigns in Google Ads. Keep in mind, it will be accompanied by an ad that shows up in your Google business profile. You can't get the branded map pin and not have the ad that shows on your profile. They're paired together. It used to have a $1,000 a day limit, like you had to be spending at least $1,000 a day to be able to do it. But that has been removed as of at least this summer. We recommend to our clients that you spend at least a couple of hundred a day if you want to go after this. Joy had a post on the Sterling Sky site that said, what did it say? I was looking at it earlier.
We should probably link to it.
I'll link to it. Joy said that they heard back from a Google rep that said the recommended budget is still $1,000 a day, but campaigns can drive traffic on a smaller budget. With a smaller budget, it's not guaranteed you'll receive significant volume. Based on past experience, I'd recommend at least $100 per location for campaigns running on less than $1,000 a day. So you're still looking at $3,000, right? Yes,
yeah,
that's good.
$3,000 a month.
$3,000 a month just to have the map pin outside of any other Google ads that you're doing. Honestly, this is like, let me share this link in chat. Honestly, this is one of those things that I equate to, like, if you've seen the movie Up, people going, squirrel! Like, it looks really cool, but is it really going to get you anything? No.
I don't know. I look at those things and I say, who actually cares about these branded, pins, right? And I have to say, marketers.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're like a multi-locate, if you're like freaking Walgreens or racetrack or something that's got a bunch of locations all over the place, and you've got a massive budget, sure, put it in there and people will just see you on maps and maybe that'll make them want to go to you. But like when people pull up Google Maps, they're pulling up Google Maps because they're looking for directions to a specific location. And who cares if you've got a branded map pin? Is that going to give you any additional traffic to your location? No. So why waste the money?
I'm not going to type in pharmacy. I'm going to type in CVS.
Right. And just because there's a McDonald's map pin that's 5 blocks away from CVS doesn't mean you're going to go, oh, geez, let me go to McDonald's on the way to pick up my prescription. So realistically, Elizabeth, what you tell that client is if all you want to do is chase your competitors, you're always going to be number 2. Your competition is wasting a crap ton of money on something that does nothing for them. If you've got the budget to do it, let's take that money and use it more effectively to help you beat your client instead of just trying to do something else dumb that your client wants to do because they see the competition doing it.
And there's another aspect, and that's the big piece here is that they're not going to get traction in maps, number 1, right?
Yeah.
Number 2 is that since the ad is joined with your Google business profile, that is going to suck away organic traffic. And now you're just paying for it. So what's the use of having a free Google business profile if now you are paying for it, basically?
Yep.
At $100 a day.
Yep. Not smart.
Yeah, you're cannibalizing yourself, basically. That's the way I would explain it to the customer.
Next, we have multiple questions from you because Jeffrey submitted, quote unquote, so many questions. And for everyone watching, that's not me being a jerk. He literally titled it So Many Questions. And Jeffrey is here, so he knows what I'm talking about. So subject, main question is so many questions. So his question, I'm going to go one at a time instead of reading them all and coming back through. All right. First question, is there truly a UTM URL bug? Updating the URL with tracking code equals suspension?
Gone. Sorry. We talked about that at the beginning. There was an issue. It's gone. Fixed. Next of the, you said so many questions. There's only 4 questions. I know.
That's not so many.
5 is so many, really.
Yeah. So the next one, what is the turnaround time for reinstatements now? And if it's been like 26 days, what should these poor folks do? Send an email to Google?
Very good question. No, that's actually a really good question. So the turnaround time on reinstatements is on average 22 days. However, some people are seeing it up to 4 to 5 weeks. But my average is 22 days is what I'm seeing. So if it's been 26 days, then what you should probably do is just come to the community and say, hey, it's been 26 days. Here's my proof. Here's my case ID. I haven't heard back from Google. What do you guys think? And then one of us product experts can go ahead and ask Google about it.
And to clarify for those that are listening, is that 26 days or 26 business days?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's business days.
Next question.
Well, hold on. I've got to say this. Technically, it's business days. Google says business days. I see actual days. So not sure which it is, but it is.
Maybe Google counts weekends as business days because Google's always on. Who knows?
I don't know.
Next question is, for a business with a published address, what impact does the service area have? Just shows the area serviced visually, or is there some actual impact on visibility? Can updating the service area equal suspension?
2 questions. First one is, Jeff, sir, service areas will not impact rank. Ding, period. That's it. If they ever do, I will be the first to let you know. The second part is that editing a service area, will this cause a suspension? Maybe. It's possible. Just like anything with GBP, if you edit any aspect of GBP on the info, I should say, you can cause a suspension. What that does is that triggers something that's called an integrity check. If the integrity check fails for whatever reason, many different reasons for this, then yes, you will have to either go into re-verification or you'll be suspended immediately. One of the two.
And last question.
Yes, sir.
Also, for a single location business adding a second location, does this automatically regenerate the listing dashboard? Why is Google pushing management via search all the time? Ugh.
Hold on. I got to read this one. One location business adding a second location.
So will he get the dashboard system back if he adds a second location?
I see. Yes, you will get your dashboard back, basically. And when you go in there, when it says try it on search, don't click the button because you'll forever be stuck inside of search. As far as why are they pushing it? This has been in development for north of a year and a half. And what they found out is that 90% of merchants only have one Google business listing. And they usually search for it by typing in my business or their business name. So that led them to the data led them to creating this whole direct search experience, basically, which is what we have now. So it sucks when you have multiple profiles. Obviously, it's much better. My trick is if you only have one and you want to have two, is just start the verification of a new profile that you're never going to use, and that'll trigger the dashboard.
Boom.
All right. So
done.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you with the many, many questions. Next up is our friend Trisha. So, hey, Trisha, how are you doing? Okay, Greg, this is for you, buddy. Has Google clarified the new guidelines about paying to remove reviews? Question mark. If a business sees a review and offers a discount or free service for them to try to get them back, but doesn't say it gets them, doesn't basically ask them to change the review, the client may update the review later because of the new experience with discounted or free. Does Google consider this a violation?
So it is a violation to incentivize for reviews, period. Whether you're incentivizing for someone to leave a review or incentivizing for someone to change their review. This is, I guess, a little bit of a gray area that I didn't catch when we were going through this earlier of you see a review and you offer a discount or a free service to try to get them back and then hope that they update the review later. That's okay. Because like, think about when you're at a restaurant and you have a bad experience and they're like, well, let me comp your food or give you a coupon for next time. That's like normal business practice. Say, hey, you had a bad experience. Let us make it up to you next time.
Yep.
That's okay. But as soon as you come back and go, and hey, if you don't mind updating your review, then you're violating because you're not allowed to incentivize to ask to change the review. So
let's talk
realistically,
about this real
you could do it, but you can't mention changing the review because then you're violating.
But let's talk about this real quick. How's Google going to know? Really? Think about it. How are they going to know?
I mean, yeah, if you're contacting that customer offline, there's not really any way that they would know.
No, there isn't. So, and Michael, I hope your name is Michael. But I see what you're saying. You know, they know if you use a Gmail account, they actually, believe it or not, Google is not that smart, and their products don't talk to each other like that. But so that being said, is that if you see the way I look at it is this: is that if you are reaching out to a customer that had a bad experience, and you say, would you mind, we'd love to give you a discount, or a free ticket or a free blah, 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 because of the experience that you had, and we're going to make it up to you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you state, and if you wished to update your review to reflect your new experience, fantastic. That I think is not out of line, because you're not asking them to give you a 5-star review. You're saying if you just want to update your review with the new experience. It's gray, but I think it's
gray.
Correct. Now, and like Trisha's saying, don't put it in writing, obviously, right? Because screenshots and such. Now, do you run the risk that the customer might now say, Well, they gave me a free underwater basket weaving class.
That's
and asked me to rewrite the review. So I'm rewriting the review, and they're now 4 stars. Now that's pretty crappy.
Right? That's why I wouldn't mention anything about it. I would just straight up, hey, we're sorry, it was a bad experience. Let us make it up to you next time. Here's a discount or a free something, and just not mention it. And then maybe reach out to them if they've come back and they've come back and they're happy, and say, now that you came back and you had a better experience, would you mind updating the bad review? But as soon as you put it in the request, it's a heck of a lot more likely that they're going to put that in their review update, and then you're in trouble.
Actually, there's something you just said there, and I think you might have just said this, but I'm going to reiterate it if you did. That actually makes a lot more sense, is that you bring the customer, you give them something to make them feel better and make up for whatever experience they had. So let's, just say something terrible happened in the underwater basket weaving class, and you give them a free class. Once they have a free class, they email you back and say, you know what? Thank you so much. I had a great experience. Johnny had a wonderful time doing basket weaving. I think it's not out of line to then ask again for a review. Basically, not saying
we do that all the time with a lot of our clients when somebody has a bad experience, and then you reach out in the real world, and Trisha, I got too close to the house. You reach out in the real world to fix the situation because you care about giving good customer service and you want everybody to be happy. And then that customer comes back and says, you know what? Thanks so much for, giving me the opportunity to take another shot or whatever. And I really enjoyed it this time. It was a great experience. I'm gonna be a happy customer for life now. Then at that point, of course you reach out and go, oh, well,
right.
We're so happy to hear that. Would you mind updating your review and
or you don't even say
sharing that experience too? Like, that's okay.
Yeah. I don't even think you say updating your review. Just say, thanks. If you wouldn't mind leaving us a review. Obviously, when they go back, they're going to update the review, right? Because that's how it comes up.
Yep.
But I think that kind of, I want to say that gets around it, but that's actually, I think, the proper way to do it. So cool. That was an awesome question. Thank you so much, Trisha. Led us down a little rabbit hole with sharks.
And we're actually past time to switch over to live questions. So we should switch over to live questions really quickly. As I read the next question to you, I'm also going to answer Steven's question asking if I have new sound clips. And the answer is I do not have any new sound clips. So I will be sure to rectify that for next time. But the first live question is, again, from our friend Anonymous. Are there any reliable landing page automation solutions for big scale MLBs out there? 10K plus locations. If yes, which of these would you recommend?
I'll tell you, man, I don't think there's one that I can think of off the top of my head that's great like this, that would do it. I mean, I feel you. Anonymous attendee, I totally feel you on this. I mean, you got 10,000 plus locations. I've got a client with 33,000 locations. And one of the things I brought up to them is how their landing pages just suck. And I was like, look, you got to get unique content on these pages. 33,000 locations. How do you do 33,000 locations and you do unique content? They actually pulled it off. It's kind of interesting. Watch. But anyway, but yeah, so I don't know of any automated tools. I don't think I would trust any automated tools actually to do this, because now you're going to have, your simple, we're going to replace title with name, in title tag, and name, title and location in the H1 tag. And, it's going to be crap, basically. And Google's going to see it like that. So again, I feel your pain, but I think the right way to attack it is to one by one, manually. It sucks.
Yep.
I mean, if anybody else in the audience has good experience or examples, of tools or sites that they've seen that have done this in some kind of an automated fashion, definitely throw it up there, please.
Yeah, I would not trust anything that's automated, because it's going to be crappy quality and it's going to be exactly duplicated across those 10,000 locations.
Yep.
Maybe use the tool as a starting point and then go add unique info to each one. But if you're going to add unique info to each one, and you're going into each page anyway, why do you need the automated solution?
Yeah. And let's talk about the worst case scenario really quickly. worst case scenario is use this tool to pump out these 10,000 location pages, right? Well, guess what? Google's going to see that as thin content. Google is going to show one.
Yep.
So maybe your San Diego location is going to be shown when somebody searches for whatever your underwater basket weaving class is about. So even though you're nationwide, they're only going to show San Diego. And that's what ends up happening basically is one page ends up winning. So again, horrible experience. Cool.
Yep.
All right, my friend. Next one is for you.
I'm so excited for this one too.
I know you are. All right. So Joey Abna is asking, what is up with Google serving up independent used car dealers more prominently than franchise car dealers for category type searches like car dealers in city, car dealerships in city, every new car dealer in city? Question mark.
And the answer to this is most likely they're probably my clients and I'm doing really badass SEO on them and that's why they're winning. I've been waiting to answer that. No, really what it is, it's an SEO issue. That's 100% what it is. If you're looking for car dealers in a city or car dealerships in a city, whoever's showing up at the top of the list is going to be the ones that are... okay, this could get more complicated now that I'm thinking of it. It's the difference between implicit and explicit searches. If you're looking for car dealers and you're located in Dallas, you're going to see a different list than if you are looking for car dealers in Dallas and you're not in Dallas. So Joey, if you can kind of comment there and let us know which one you're talking about. Either way, it still is going to come down to SEO signals. So it's going to be the categories they've chosen in their Google business profiles. And it's also going to be the SEO that they've done on their site and how optimized their profiles are and everything all together. So it's just the reason those guys are winning is because those guys are doing better SEO. I work with tons and tons and tons of car dealers, though, and I don't see this happening. The only time I see independents outranking franchise guys is when they're doing really good SEO and the franchise guys aren't.
Makes total sense. All right. So Fern's asking a question that she's asked a couple different times. So why don't we go ahead and tackle it one more last time?
The question being, I am targeting law firms on my homepage with the H1. Can I use other themes on other pages, such as web design, without targeting lawyers? Same with branding page. Just talk about branding in general. As far as H2s and H3s, can I use law firm H tags throughout the pages randomly? But I'm really looking only at the homepage as a landing page for lawyers.
The answer here, Fern, is still you can do whatever you want, and it's going to work however it does. So the real answer here is should you be testing? And the answer to that is yes, you should be testing. So really, seriously, don't think about Google. This is for everybody. Don't think about SEO as what I can do for Google. Think about what can I do for a user. If I'm a law firm and I come to your website and I see something about law firms, I'm probably going to be interested. If I dig deeper and I go into this web design page and it doesn't speak to law firms, I'm probably still going to be interested because I clicked on web design. Now, if it says web design for jewelry makers, now I'm confused. And I'm going back to your homepage to go make sure I'm at the right place. So think it through, game it, talk to a lawyer. How about that?
But also what we've said in the past when a similar question has come up is think about homepage isn't really a good landing page for lawyers. Yeah. If you're trying to do whatever service for attorneys, you should have that as a page on the site. And your homepage is just a general summary of what you do. Because if you're optimizing your homepage all for lawyers and you don't mention lawyers anywhere else throughout the site, then it's going to be confusing for anybody that lands on another page and then goes to the homepage and sees it all about lawyers.
Yeah.
So if you are trying to target multiple different verticals, just have the same page multiple times, each time targeting a different vertical. That's the easier way to do it.
Keep on talking for a second. I'm going to see if I can go find an example. Oh, never mind. I know what to go to. Go to, here's the answer for you. Okay. And that is go to scorpion.co. Scorpion has an excellent way of presenting all of their services on their homepage. And then they have menu items that go down into individual niches and services. So if you're looking for something to mirror yourself after, then you do that. Basically, I guess that's my point. Okay, so moving on. Greg, we have a question from anonymous attendee.
Anonymous is dominating the questions again.
Anonymous
unfair
attendee.
To everyone else.
I know, they just hog everything. I'm just saying. Hi there, guys. I would like to know, how is the proper setting for anchor text for nearby cities on multi-location, one website locations nearby city? Or I'm sorry, they're asking which one of these two ways is the right way to do it for anchor text. Website locations nearby city, website locations, actual location nearby city.
So I think they're asking about URL structure and not anchor text.
I agree.
And B, neither. The thing that I always say when I speak at conferences and in webinars and anywhere or talk to potential clients, talk to clients is make sure you own your backyard before you try to show up somewhere where you don't have a location. So make sure that you've got solid enough SEO to dominate the search results in the town that you're actually located in before you start going and trying to add content to target showing up in other cities where you do not have a Google business profile or a location. In this case, for sure, you would not want to say website / locations / actual location / nearby city, because that's not going to match. But even still, you wouldn't even have to do website / location / nearby city unless you just wanted to organize your subfolder structure that way. Like, that doesn't really matter from an SEO standpoint. Who cares? Like, do whatever you want with your URLs.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, if I was going to answer this in a black and white way, I'd go with number 2. If you had a binary response between 1 and 2.
Oh, I would go with 1, 100%.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
Why?
Because I wouldn't want to say website / locations / Plano, Texas / Dallas, because Plano and Dallas are 2 different locations, and it wouldn't make sense to humans to have a URL structured that way. And we know the URL doesn't matter to Google, so why would you do it that way?
Well, URL matters itty bitty, but so you're saying you wouldn't do it as greggifford.com / locations / Dallas / Plano. No,
I would just do greggifford.com / locations / Plano.
Okay.
I would drop in this case, if your real location is, let's say suburbs first. Let's say your real location is in Plano, Texas, but you're trying to show up in Dallas, Texas. So you're creating either a local content silo or just a city landing page for Dallas. It doesn't matter that you have the actual Plano location in the URL. Who cares? What matters is, do you have content on the page that's useful for humans to say that you can offer your products and services to people in Dallas? So who cares that Plano is there at all? You wouldn't have it anywhere on the page other than maybe mentioning, well, hey, our office is in Plano, so we can conveniently serve customers in Dallas, but you don't need it in the URL.
Right on. All right.
All right. Next question is for you.
Oh, God.
And it is from Valeria.
Hi, Valeria.
Valeria says, hi, for one of my clients' profiles, we cannot add a phone number. Always, we do try. We get a message that says phone number can't be edited. We already reached support, but the instructions they have provided are just add the phone number in the same way that we already tried. So by any chance, do you know how we can add the phone number to the profile without getting that error message?
All right. So Valeria, here is what I'm going to say is the first thing you should try is this. And you might laugh, by the way. But the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're not just copying and pasting the phone number into that field. When you do that, sometimes there's a space in front or in back of the phone number. If that exists, it's going to reject it. Basically, Google's stupid. Like I said earlier, they're very dumb sometimes. and they don't escape spaces, which is a programmatic thing. So try that first. Now, if that is not actually what's happening, then what I want you to do is I want you to go to loom.com and I want you to make a video that shows the exact error. You reply back to your support ticket saying, thank you very much. I appreciate your assistance. However, this is not working. Here is a video showing you the error. If they come back with the exact same response, which they probably will, then you want to go to the community and include all of this information in a post. Include the case ID, when you did it, what they stated, and then, of course, with the Loom video. And then one of the product experts can go ahead and we can upload them. We can escalate that to the Google team, and they can take a look at it and see if there's something actually wrong with the profile, which there might be. So, but that's at least the process for that. All right. So, Trisha.
We've got 10 minutes left. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to have people throw out some stuff we could look at live?
Well, let's try that first, and then we'll keep going.
Anybody have troubleshooting stuff they want to toss out there? Let's throw it in the chat. Anybody that wants us to do the live look like we did last time, where Ben and I both kind of troubleshoot and take a look and give you insight, give us something to do. And we're going to, man, I need that Jeopardy song. I need to write that down too.
All right. So anybody, I don't care. What is it? You have a suspension case that you're working on that's really difficult. You're banging your head against the wall. Give us the details. You have a GBP. It's not ranking for whatever reason, and you'd like us to check it out. Give us the details. You want to ask us if the sky is blue? We'll answer that too.
This would be great for having a crickets sound effect. Okay,
yes,
Steven jumped in. Steven has a client and a friend whose GBP profile has been spammed with fake reviews. A disgruntled client notified all of his rental tenants that they would get a credit on their rental if they left a negative review on my client/friend's GBP profile. And of course, I'm going to start calling it GB. I'm just totally breaking here, but I'm going to start calling it GBP profile, which you would think would be redundant because profile stands for profile. But now that we're going to be Google Business Problems profile, makes way more sense. So thank you for that, Stephen. I'm going to use that from now on. And of course, several people left the fake reviews. Is going to the community the best way to try and get them removed? That is an excellent one, Stephen. My first question would be, do you have proof that the disgruntled client notified his rental tenants and told them they would get credit if they left a negative review?
And here we wait 5 to 10 seconds.
Only verbal. That's more difficult then.
Maybe.
You could potentially go to support and say that this happened, and they could see this without proof of like a text message screen capture, an email screen capture might be a little more difficult, but potentially it could work. Ben, what do you say?
All right. So a couple different things. Number one, you need to start with documentation, meaning that you need to document every single review into a Google Sheet. So that way you have them all in one place. Just go to the review, click on share, then pop in the link. That's step one. Does not work for 1 stars though. Sorry. Those you just got to grab the entire URL. Number two, flag all of the reviews. You have to do it one by one by one. There's a Google review tool that can help you kind of speed up that process. We've asked for multi-select. They haven't given it to us. Sorry. Next step is that if you can get, this, if you know it's verbal, then that means you heard it from somebody. If you can get that person to go on the record on a recorded phone call saying this occurred, that might give you some bonus points. Okay?
He just said in the chat that his friend/client may have the letter or some type of evidence.
That's fantastic. If you have
got that, you're golden.
Yeah, it's really close to a slam dunk at that point. Now, support is not very well equipped to deal with review attacks, which is what this basically is. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out if the reviews were left in a successive close amount of time. Are they all on the same day? Are they on multiple days but clustered together? The next thing is, and you can answer these questions, by the way, in chat, Stephen. The next part of the question is the language consistent between them, meaning that not the language as in like English or misspellings, etc., but the language that they're using in these reviews. Are they saying my friend got ripped off? Things like that. That basically speak to the fact that it was not actually their experience. That's important, by the way. It's a very important point I'm making. That's why I'm kind of stressing on it so much, is because if you can prove that just by even looking at the reviews, the removal chance is extremely high. So now you've got your information. You've got it all, the evidence. Some have no text, others are just generic. Okay, yeah. Either way, just go ahead. And again, if they're all left on the same day or like same time periods, that's pretty powerful too. Either way, what I would do is go back to support one more time and just give them the evidence. If they do nothing, then come into the community, escalate it, and make your post and we'll escalate it. Put everything into a Google Sheet so that way it doesn't get filtered.
But for sure, if your friend/client can get a copy of the letter or, even a cell phone photo of the letter or anything that shows that this guy solicited bad reviews with some sort of incentive, then that's going to be pretty close to a slam dunk that you'll get them taken down.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? Last chance, or we'll go. Oh, here's one. Rachel Davis has one.
All right.
Rachel has a clinic that is being bombarded with map listings that are variations of the company name and tied to random places like homes. I've flagged them in Google. Oh, somebody just asked something else and it moved that I can't read. I have flagged them and Google is not removing them, going on 3 months. They are now starting to outrank us for keyword walk-in clinic near me on maps.
Yep. Okay. Rachel, first question. When you call them, how do they answer? Do they answer clinic, or do they answer as the name of the GBP? Or do they answer as a competitor? All these questions are important because basically what we're trying to figure out, a phone number does work. It's a busy signal. That's kind of interesting. I would say that's actually a good thing, by the way. Rachel, so the websites that are tied to it, do they have websites? Or are they using a Google Biz site? Oh, that's fan-freaking-tastic. How come they're not? They should be removing those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say is have you done a redressal form on them yet? Okay. First step, go to the redressal form, report all of them. You can report up to 10 on the form, or if there's more than 10, you give them a Excel sheet, basically a CSV. Wait for the response on this. It should be approximately 1 to 2 weeks. I'm sorry, not response. Get the case ID. You'll get the case ID immediately, but then you have to wait 2 weeks. If no action has been taken in 2 weeks and the listings are all is the keyword, still live, then you have to come to the community. Now, when you come to the community, all I want you to do is state your problem, state what you did, and give us the case ID. We don't want the actual list, okay? And you can even state, I was on Local Marketing Institute and we talked about this and here's what is going on. Feel free to DM either me or Greg the link to that thread that you've created, and then we'll go ahead and we'll escalate it for you. And then we'll see if Google can just go ahead and get them removed basically at that time.
Boom.
So hope that helps. Okay. So you're welcome. So, all right. So Neil asked a question. I'm helping a company who offers security systems, solar panels, air purification, water softeners. Each division occupies separate offices in a building, with a single address. How should I set up the GBPs? GBP profiles, I mean.
Well, this is then a question of, is it like a big office building with lots of different offices on different floors, or is it a single building just for this company, but they've got different offices for each division? Because that could technically be a little dicier. But yeah, I mean, security systems, solar panels, air purification, and water softeners are pretty separate types of businesses. The single address part's tough. I mean, you could try to set up the GBPs, but you'd need separate websites, separate phone numbers, separate staff, and you'd have to show documentation.
Separate corporations.
Yep. Separate business entities and separate entrances and separate signage, which isn't likely to be the case unless if it is a large office building, like, a big high-rise building, then you might be okay because you probably do have separate signage and entrances and staff. But if it's just a building that has separate office rooms, but the whole building is that company, you're probably going to not be able to get it done.
Yeah. So let's look at the guidelines. One business, one GBP. In this case, I see this a lot where you have somebody who offers a bunch of services and they're like, well, I deserve multiple GBPs because I offer all these services. It doesn't work that way. So unless like you go off the list, like Greg just described, which most people do not want to go to those lengths. And also on top of that is that when you add in the subcategories, I mean, you can't do water softener as a category, but anyway, but you can definitely do air and solar, and security. Then, separate offices. Yeah, I mean, you can just add them as subcategories. But if you're saying each division occupies separate offices in a building with a single address, if they're individual business entities, then sure, you can do it. And you can just do suite 101, suite 202, et cetera. But they have to be unique business entities, unique signage, everything. I can tell you this, that when you do this, you risk a high level of suspension.
Neil, can you comment and let us know, is it a case of like a big high-rise office building with lots of different offices, or is it like just a small little office? And when you're saying they're in separate, each division is a separate office, means each division has a separate room or cluster of cubicles.
Crickets.
Maybe not. Paging Neil.
Cricket.
And I guess we move on.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, Neil's answering in the Q&A. Building has just the one business.
Then I would say you are going to have to do a single GBP and not separate ones.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Deal with it, basically. All right. So the we got 3 minutes left. So the last question really is, you said Google does not care about URLs. Does that mean exact match domains don't help that much? Example, implantdentistsmexico.com.
So that is the URL being the top level domain. Keywords there matter. Keywords in the URL string that comes after the .com or .co.uk or .co or .whatever, keywords there matter to a degree, but not so much that you need to really stress out or go back and change everything. John Mueller just said like a week ago on Twitter that once a page has been indexed, you don't need to go back and change the URL to add keywords, because once they've indexed the content, who cares? Doesn't matter. But yeah, exact match domains still do kind of matter. They are a little overpowered. The problem is a lot of the times people doing exact match domains, they're just doing that as a shortcut and they're not doing good SEO, and they're hoping that the exact match domain gets them to have more visibility. You don't need an exact match domain to be able to destroy local rankings if you do good SEO. So
yeah, exactly. All right.
And that's it, unless somebody has a really quick one.
Yeah,
Last
I think
chance.
we're going to be done. I think we're going to be
live
done. Okay. Well, I'm going to say, hold on. Let me see this one question here.
Ooh, can we do the anonymous question in the Q&A section?
What do we got?
Anonymous, again, dominating the questions, says, hello, guys. We just got a report from SEMrush alerting us that one of our clients went from position 4 to 100 in a single month. And my partners said this has been happening for a while. Is there any explanation for this? Thanks, buds.
You go ahead and answer it, because I'm actually in the process of just cleaning up something really quick.
Yeah, SEMrush sucks at rank tracking, especially for local. So I would worry about the fact that you're using SEMrush for rank tracking because it's not really very good at that. B, if you're doing local, which hopefully you are since you're on the local podcast here, I would definitely not use SEMrush for local rank tracking because it doesn't do it well. But beyond that, let's assume that the tool is fairly accurate, knock on wood. If it says you went from position 4 to 100, what's the term that you went from position 4 to 100 on? Is it a term that freaking matters? Because if it doesn't, who cares? If it does matter, do you see a drop in traffic to the site that accompanies the drop in supposed ranking visibility? Because just because a tool says you don't rank well doesn't mean you don't really rank well.
Right.
But maybe it's right. And if you do really lose visibility, you would also see a corresponding drop in traffic. If that is the case, then yeah, you need to go fix whatever's wrong with that page so that you get that visibility back. But take it with a grain of salt and make sure that corresponding traffic and leads drop as well. And you're not like going and calling an all hands meeting and the sky is falling over something that it's just the tool sucks and nothing really changed in reality.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, cool. With that, we have another episode of the Local Marketing Institute live Q&A on the books with Greg Gifford and Ben Fisher. And hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out again. Sorry, we were gone for 4 weeks. Trust me, it hurts us too. Greg and I we love doing this. We love hanging out with you guys every other Friday. We really, really do. So we will see you in 2 weeks. Feel free to come to the Local Marketing Institute forum. And I'm going to say this, is that on that form that we have for asking questions, if you have live things that you'd like us to answer and troubleshoot with you, please put them in the form too. And just give it a title of like troubleshooting or something like that. I don't know, something really funny or smart. Prefer funny, by the way.
Yeah.
So, so please do that. And then we can be a little bit more prepared for the last 20-minute segment, which I think went fan-freaking-tastic today.
Yeah, I love doing it.
Yeah, I think so. So again, we love you all. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Bye.